Coming up on State of Events, the autopsy for Stephon Clark has been released and it's creating controversy. Find out why.
And San Francisco fights to protect the coastline of Ocean Beach. State of Events starts now.
Welcome to State of Events. I'm Tyler McKinney.
And I'm Kelly DeLeon. Crowds continue to protest police brutality and Black lives 2 weeks after Stephon Clark was shot dead by Sacramento police. A pathologist hired by Clark's family determined Clark was shot a total of 8 times. 6 of those bullets struck him in the back. These findings contradict police accounts that Clark was advancing towards them. It is estimated it took Clark 3 to 10 minutes to die. The fatal shooting took place March 18th after police responded to reports that a man was breaking into cars.
A vigil was held in Sacramento for the 22-year-old father, and a local activist participating in the event was struck by a sheriff's vehicle. Protesters approached 2 sheriff's vehicles as they slowly drove through the crowd. After asking protesters to back away from the vehicle, it quickly accelerated, knocking 61-year-old Wanda Cleveland to the ground. Both vehicles drove away after the collision, as you can see in this video here. Cleveland was taken to the hospital shortly afterwards and was released the following morning with bruises on her arm and the back of her head. California Highway Patrol is currently investigating the incident.
Climate change is taking its course around San Francisco. This time, it's coming for the sands. Veronica Kunzevan digs in at Ocean Beach to show how the city tackles erosion along the coastline.
It might look like a life-size sandbox, but there's no playing around at Ocean Beach. During the next 2 months, bulldozers will dig up sand from the south section and move them to other areas affected by erosion and climate change. The San Francisco Public Utilities Commission says the plan is short-term. Local residents like Derek Aronier believes the relocation is a good idea because there's plenty to go around.
It'd be nice. I'm guessing by like the redistribution, it's gonna look like clean, like you could walk like straight on to the beach, no sand flying in your face, right, when you enter the beach. That's good. That's good. That part is good.
Now, bulldozers will load more than 75,000 tons of sand onto these dump trucks. From there, they'll go up and down the highway and replenish as needed. And on average, they'll take about 1,500 trips throughout the day.
Possible long-term plans include removing the Great Highway in favor of a coastal trail. Traffic would be rerouted to Sloat and Skyline Boulevard. But while removing the Great Highway isn't set in stone, it does cause concern for residents like Aronier.
I don't think it would be a good idea. But if I was riding my bike now, I'd be like, do it. But I'm driving a car now, so don't do it. That's how.
At Ocean Beach, I'm Veronica Kunzevan for State of Events.
April is Earth Month, and this year, many across the globe agreed to focus on plastic pollution. Lauren G is in the studio to highlight how one organization is maintaining the bay and rescuing sea life from ocean pollution.
Earth Day is coming up, so mark your calendars for April 22nd. I visited the Marine Mammal Center in the Marin to find out how mammals are being affected by ocean pollution. It's lunchtime and volunteers are hard at work prepping fish milkshake to feed the 70 patients here at the Marine Mammal Center. The center is one of the largest nonprofit hospitals that receive sick and injured marine mammals, including seals, otters, and sea lions found all along the California coast. Many are coming in because of malnutrition, parasites, disease, and injuries. Cameron Steinbach, a marine science educator at the center, reveals that humans are also contributing to animals being sent to the center.
10% of the animals that we've rescued and rehabilitated have come in because of some sort of human interaction, most often an entanglement from plastic or marine debris or discarded fishing gear that's gotten into or around their bodies.
Eugene, a California sea lion, was found with fishing line around his neck, and the veterinarians at the Mammal Center had to carefully cut all of it off. Behind me is a statue called the Ghost Net Monsters, made of 450 pounds worth of plastic material and nets that was found inside the stomach of a 51-foot sperm whale back in 2008. Here at the Marine Mammal Center, they try to educate people using this to show how much plastic pollution is in the ocean. As an educator for the center, Cameron encourages people to be stewards of the ocean, whether it be by volunteering with the community or making individual changes in your life.
Sometimes just take a look at your lunch. What is your food packaged in, and how can we change that, those kind of things? So we're using single-use plastics. Are there a way we can replace those things with something that's reusable over and over again?
This is all to help preserve and save our wildlife in the ocean. Those seals were adorable, and many are coming ashore for pupping season right now. But human disruption negatively affects marine life, and currently many seals are coming to the hospital because their moms abandon them if humans come near them. The center advises to keep a safe distance of at least 50 feet away from the animals, and they urge people to call the rescue hotline if they see a marine animal that looks injured or distressed. You can call 415-289-SEAL. And if you want to learn more about what the center is doing, you can visit the facility up in the Marin. In the studio, I'm Lauren Jean. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Lauren. Who does the current rental market affect the most? Millennials. According to a study released by Rent Cafe, those between the ages of 22 and 30 are having the hardest time when it comes to finding affordable housing. Millennials have been hit the hardest and are soon to be followed by Generation Z. The study shows that rent eats up almost half of a millennial's income, and when compared to the baby boomers, they cope with a 45% rent burden in their 20s. The youngest of millennials appear to be hit the hardest because rent is constantly inflating. Individuals classified as Generation Z are expected to pay approximately $102,000 in their 20s to keep a roof over their heads. And teachers are going on strike. They're very unhappy with their current salaries and are speaking up. The recent salary strikes in West Virginia and Oklahoma are bringing attention to just how little teachers make. And Alameda teachers are hopping on board. They're demanding better pay, fighting to be paid an average salary at the very least. Employee salaries at the Alameda Unified School District are among the lowest in the county, 10% to be exact. Alameda teachers say it's led to high turnover, a teacher shuffle, referring to it as a revolving door. Parents, teachers, and students support the small class sizes and helpful programs the school is offering, so the board faces a tough choice: teachers' pay versus school programs. Board members hope to make a decision by next month.
Next on State of Events, find out what President Trump tweeted about Mexico and how the country responds.
We have more on State of Events coming up. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. President Trump is pushing for new legislation to make it more difficult to obtain refuge in the United States after he went on another tweet storm about illegal immigration. After wishing his followers a happy Easter, Trump followed up with a tweet blaming Democrats for Border Patrol agents not being allowed to properly do their jobs. He also referred to caravans coming into the U.S., addressing a story Fox News ran about migrants crossing Mexico and reportedly heading toward the border. Trump followed up with another tweet claiming Mexico has hardly done anything to stop people from flowing into Mexico and into the U.S. He goes on to say he will stop Mexico's cash cow, referring to NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement between Mexico, Canada, and the United States. These new proposals include toughening laws to make it harder to apply for asylum, turning back children arriving illegally without their parents, and detaining families for longer periods while they await decisions from immigration authorities. The Justice Department is also putting quotas on immigration judges to requiring them to complete 700 cases each year. Trump's new legislative efforts reiterate his anti-immigration themes he pushed during the presidential election.
And on the other side of the world, Russia is not backing down anytime soon. Russia released a video of its new intercontinental ballistic missile being tested. Russian President Vladimir Putin hails the missile for being able to fly over both poles and striking any target in the world. The video was released hours after they announced they'd be expelling 60 American diplomats and seizing diplomatic land. The expulsion is in response to the measures the U.S. has taken on the incident of an ex-Russian spy and his daughter being poisoned in Britain. Putin claims the new missile, known as Satan II, accelerates faster, has a higher range, and carries more powerful nuclear warheads than its predecessor.
China imposed tariffs on more than 100 American products. This came after United States imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum. Tensions have been rising for weeks between China and the U.S. over trade. The tariff rate will increase 25% and 15%, which mirrors Trump's 25% hike on steel and 15% hike on aluminum. China says these tariffs are to balance losses caused by the U.S. tariffs. Products affected by these tariffs include pork, wine, fruit, and nuts.
Walter Wong was behind the wheel of a Tesla Model X when the vehicle crashed into a median on Highway 101, taking his life. After investigation, Tesla admits that its self-driving autopilot feature was engaged at the time of the fatal crash. The company claims that Wong didn't have his hands on the steering wheel when the accident happened. They say he also wasn't responding to the warnings to take control. This incident is one of a few causing people to question whether or not semi-autonomous technology is safe. Uber is also being questioned after one of their self-driving cars killed a pedestrian. With Uber and Tesla being two of the most popular brands in the auto and tech industry, consumer trust could possibly suffer.
California Governor Jerry Brown saved 5 immigrants from being deported. The governor pardoned 56 people on Friday who completed their sentences for drug-related and other nonviolent crimes. 5 of those 56 people were immigrants who were facing deportation. Since their sentences were completed, all 5 immigrants have remained out of trouble. Trump criticized Governor Brown on Twitter, stating, "Governor Brown pardoned 5 criminal illegal aliens and went on to highlight their crimes."
With marijuana being legal in the state of California, federal establishments like San Francisco State do not allow marijuana or any type of smoking to promote a healthy environment. Reporter Karen Rios has the story. Karen?
Since the removal of the designated smoking areas, students are being forced to smoke off campus. Many students go around the no smoking policy by smoking as close as possible to the borderline of what is considered to be off campus.
Supposed to smoke past that little barrier, or like right here, because that's school property, but I mean, I'll smoke. I don't care. I'll walk down there and smoke, but it's fine.
Many students who do smoke say that removing the designated smoking areas will not make them smoke less. They have created their own DSA where they are allowed.
I mean, as a smoker, and I think other smokers are like-minded, where I don't care if they say I can't. I don't care if they tell me a place I'm supposed to do it. I'm just not going to do that. And I'll keep doing that until I either get caught or I have to get hit with a fine, or if I myself decide to stop smoking for a different reason.
This used to be one of the many designated smoking areas here on campus located in front of Mary Ward Hall. Now the bench has been removed to prevent people from smoking. If you are caught, there is no current citation. University Police Department says that we are currently on an educational period. In San Francisco, I'm Karen Rios for State of Events.
Will coffee in California have to be sold with cancer warning? State Events reporter Jessica Mogenier will tell you more.
On Wednesday, a California judge temporarily ruled that all coffee companies in California will be required to post a Proposition 65 warning that their brew may contain a chemical that is known to cause cancer. This decision is the outcome of a lawsuit filed in 2008 by a California-based nonprofit. And the culprit is acrylamide. It's a chemical compound that is produced naturally in the production of certain foods, and the roasting of coffee beans just happens to be one of them.
The debate isn't whether the chemical acrylamide is found in your cup of coffee, it's whether it can be harmful for you.
In the ruling, the judge said that the coffee companies didn't show enough to prove that coffee isn't harmful. And although this lawsuit targets big companies like Starbucks, its result could possibly affect small businesses all over California. I spoke with Michael Mercouri, the owner of Andytown Coffee Roasters here in San Francisco. He didn't want to be on camera, but said that if it comes down to it, small businesses like Andytown will have to comply and post the warnings. And if they have to put them on cups, it will cost them. He also mentioned that there are many layers to this story and the lawsuit's intentions seem unclear. It was found that the nonprofit and the lawyer who represent them share the exact same address. Skeptics are questioning their intentions, calling such lawsuits an attempt to grab a giant bag of money. Starbucks employee Allison Boland says this lawsuit won't stop people from drinking coffee.
I think it puts the thought into customers' head, but at the end of the day, people still want their coffee.
The judge has given coffee companies a few more weeks to file their objections before the proposed ruling is finalized. In San Francisco, I'm Jessica Mojinier for State of Events.
After the break, we'll fill you in on the March Madness Championship game.
And more local stories here in the Bay Area. Our coverage continues.
Daddy, what is sustainability?
Sustainability?
Yeah, sustainability.
Well, it's composting.
Cool.
It's conserving water.
What about clothes?
Because you reuse clothes too. Are you ready for school?
Almost done.
Hello again. March Madness came to an end last night, and there are now 2 new champs. Britta Larson is here with us to give us the details. Hi, Britta.
Hi.
Hey. How do you feel about March Madness being over?
Oh, it's a little sad because it was such an exciting 3 weeks there, but we've got 2 new champs, so good for them.
That's exciting
yeah.
too.
So it was an exciting first week of baseball for the Bay Area. The A's won their opening day 6-5 in extra innings, with Marcus Semien hitting an RBI single to win the game in the 11th. Their opening night, on the other hand, didn't go so well, losing 2-1 to the Angels. The Giants made history, becoming the first team since 1943 to start the season with 2 1-0 victories. Second baseman Joe Panik hit home runs in both of the first 2 games. The hits came off of Clayton Kershaw, arguably the best starter in the game, and Kenley Jansen, the best closer. Unfortunately, that luck did not carry over to the next 2 games as the Dodgers shut them out and they came out with the series split. The Warriors' injured list just keeps growing. Just when they have 3 of their 4 All-Stars back, they lose a key player off the bench. Guard Patrick McCaw was carried off the court on a stretcher on Saturday night after going up for a dunk and being undercut by Kings player Vince Carter. He was diagnosed with a lumbar spine contusion and will be reevaluated on Thursday. In the NCAA Women's Championship, Notre Dame stunned Mississippi State to win the women's title on a last-second shot by guard Arike Ogunbowale. This is the second title for Notre Dame women's basketball in 17 years. The men's final ended with Villanova defeating Michigan 79-62 to win their second national title in 3 years.
So it's rare that someone's carried out on a stretcher, right?
It is pretty rare, and it was a pretty scary. I think everyone's hearts just stopped when he hit the floor. And he actually lost feeling in his legs for a little bit. But, I mean, it came back, and he's up and walking now, but it was just scary to see.
His teammates looked really concerned.
They were very concerned.
I can imagine. Well, a new Muni platform is in the works at the new Mission Bay Arena. The 18,500-seat venue is being built from the ground up, and to accommodate the large amount of fans coming to enjoy games, more money is to be spent and more construction is to be done. The plan is to tear out the existing Metro platform to build a longer replacement in front of the arena. The cost? $33 million. But that's not all. Building the new platform is just part of the job. To handle more trains, Muni has to realign the tracks, which requires modifying nearby streets. They are also looking to spend money on new Metro cars, bringing the total cost to $62 million. The MTA feels that this project is necessary to avoid congestion on game nights, and despite concerns, says that there's more than enough money to complete the project.
The revival of the comedy television show Roseanne made quite the entrance this past week, despite its political controversy. State of Events reporter Sarah Sullivan gives us the details in this week's entertainment roundup.
She didn't finish high school.
She didn't finish high school?
You miss a lot of stuff when you're out drinking in the garage, Dan.
The premiere of the 10th revival season of the hit television show Roseanne was quite a turnout. With over 25 million viewers in its premiere episode, Roseanne was even renewed for an 11th season with 13 episodes. However, the TV show received a lot of backlash after it was announced back in January that Roseanne Barr's character in the show would be a Donald Trump supporter. In the premiere episode, things are extremely tense within the household over debate about the 2016 presidential election.
Might come as a complete shock to you, but we almost lost our house the way things are going.
Have you looked at the news? Because now things are worse.
Not on the real news. Oh, police!
Barr even claimed that having her character support Trump was her idea, and that the new season will tell stories about how and why working class people elected Trump. Controversy also hit the stage during the last episode of the reality singing competition show, The Voice. The battle rounds took place and Team Kelly Clarkson decided to pair two openly gay country singers, Justin Kilgore and Molly Stevens, to battle each other. At the end of the performance, Clarkson gave Stevens positive feedback, comparing her to the Indigo Girls and Melissa Etheridge. In the end, Kelly chose to eliminate Stevens by going with Kilgore. This did not sit well with Stevens as she went to Instagram to call out Clarkson's feedback for the small-minded comparison of two openly gay singers. Clarkson eventually responded back, claiming it was not intentional and also expressed disappointment. And actress and comedian Tiffany Haddish revealed in a GQ interview that an unnamed actress had bit Beyoncé while the two were trying to take a picture together back in December. Haddish even offered to beat up the actress for Beyoncé during that time. The revelation sparked outrage amongst fans and trended #WhoBitBeyoncé on Twitter. Users began tweeting their guesses and thoughts on which celebrity would have bit Beyoncé. Haddish later on told the public that she signed a non-disclosure agreement and will never reveal who bit Beyoncé. And that's it for this week's Entertainment Roundup. For State of Events, I'm Sarah Sullivan.
So electric vehicle sharing is a thing. First, it was dockless bikes, and now, guess what? There are dockless scooters. You may or may not have noticed people scooting around on these new gadgets. The Bird scooter is one of many electric phenomenons recently placed in the Bay Area. The new dockless electric scooters are easy to come by because users are leaving them all over the city. Transportation officials are trying to regulate this new industry. Electric vehicle sharing companies, such as Bird, are being asked to comply with regulations because as of now, they aren't. Believe it or not, there are rules put in place for these upright motorized scooters. SFMTA recently sent out a letter with all the information. Helmets are required, you must have a valid driver's license or permit to operate, and scooters must be driven on the roadways or bike lanes. So, Kelly, would you ride one of these scooters?
I probably wouldn't, no, just because the streets of San Francisco kind of scare me a little bit.
Me too.
But I think it's a really smart idea.
I think so too. We'll see. We might try them. Who knows? Well, that's it for State of Events. Thank you so much for watching.
And we hope to see you guys next week.